Usually I try to keep a good balance of good, bad and interesting news, but sometimes the bad take over. So please keep a positive state of mind, as I will show you, in some cases, a costless way to take action if you want. Remember, these videos are not designed to upset you, but they are designed to reveal, guide and entertain you. Thank you for watching. Hi guys, this is Hassan and you are watching Weekly Animal News. Coming up this week, interesting questions about the 23 dogs suffocated to death in the Gilbert boarding facility, how to take the dog and cat meat off the menu, they blown half the puppy's face and we can do something about it, 4-winged dinosaur fossil was discovered by scientists, one threw a beer at a tiger and the other one wanted to fight with a penguin in London Zoo, Carriage driver charged for cruelty. All of that and more coming up. Before we start this week news, I want to say something quickly. Last week we released a video answering 3 questions. Do dogs sweat? Why we don't see them sweating as other animals? And where does that characteristic smell of dogs come from? You can go to our channel, check that video there. In the beginning of next week, we will release another episode answering another 3 questions. And they will be, do dogs eat grass? Why they do that? And is it bad for my dog's stomach? And what should I do about it? If you press the subscribe button down there, you will receive that video and you will receive the rest of our videos coming out this year. The first story I want to comment on this week is about the 23 dogs died in the Gilbert boarding facility. Some of you might know about this. What's new today is there's some interesting points and questions I want to raise about this story. So what happened here is 23 dogs died in the Gilbert boarding facility. One found dead in the backyard or buried in the backyard or the garden of the boarding facility, and the rest of them was suffocated to death inside the boarding facility. And the interesting points here is, first, according to the investigations, the owner of the boarding facility lied to the owners of the dog in the beginning and said that they ran away, and then they discovered that the dogs didn't run away. So let's start with the questions I want to raise. First, why did it take the sheriff 3 weeks to get a search or a research warrant for the boarding facility? Was it going to take less time if the owners of the boarding facility didn't have the same connections they have? The owner said that one of the dogs chewed through a wire which shut down the air conditioning. So why was there a loose wire in the boarding facility? And if there wasn't a loose wire, so that means that one of the dogs just broke through the wall and got to the wire of the air conditioning. And that makes me question the construction material of the boarding facility, which is one of the requirements to get a permit or a permission or a license to establish a boarding facility everywhere in the world. If all of those questions doesn't say that boarding facility was unfit to be a boarding facility, and whoever gave him the permit or the permission or the license to establish a boarding facility should be questioned for that. And that happened the way they said. So where is the electrocuted dog? If a dog chewed through a wire that thick and that big, he would be electrocuted. And that is just so easy to recognize on one of the dogs, if that's true. And that could be easily done or achieved by asking the dog owners if any of their dogs appeared abnormal, smelled abnormal. An electrocuted dog is just so easy to recognize. A few questions will let us to the truth if there was one of the dogs electrocuted or not. And if it wasn't so clear for any reason, answering the rest of the questions regarding the loose wire and the construction material will lead us to facts could indicate animal neglect or abuse or cruelty. I advise the owners to look and the laws of the state that they live in and see if any of that fits animal neglect, because that should be a very primary or initial or basic charge to be the whoever is responsible for that boarding facility at that time should be charged for this right away. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Help spreading the news and help spreading these questions by sharing this content, this video with your friends, and so that we can spread that knowledge. And let's get to our next story for this week. Next story is about how to take dog and cat meat off the menu. A couple of weeks ago we had almost half an episode about that and what was happening in China then, and how people celebrate eating dog meat and all of that. You can go back to our channel and you'll find the full episode about that, half an episode about that. This week we're talking about how to take the dog and cat meat off the menu. But first I want to ask you a question. Do you think eating dog and cat meat is wrong? Are you against it? Are you? If your answer is yes, so please listen carefully, because I'm going to tell you how to do that in a one simple step. It's one of many things, but it's simple. You can do it. We online social community are accused that we do nothing. We just read and watch what's happening. So let's prove to everyone and to ourselves that we can do something. There's a petition started by a group called Say No to Dog Meat. It's aiming to send a message to the South Korean government, and they actually done a really very good job. They have a message and it's consisted of 7 points plan, just to show the guidelines to the government what they need to do. And they done their homework. They know who they're talking to. They done a very good job. All you need to do is just sign that petition, put your details, and just press the sign button, and that will really help that group and help other groups to do something about it. So go ahead and do that after the end of this video. You'll find the link to that petition in the description below. So just go on and sign it. You will really be helping dogs, and you'll be really trying to avoid or trying to stop people from eating dog meat and cat meat. Let's get to the next story. It's about another sad story about a puppy in Bosnia. Someone put an explosive in her mouth and it blew half of her face, and at the end they had to put her down and she died. I know it's a sad story, so please stay in positive state of mind and let's do something about it, because again we can do something about it. And that is a petition, and it's started by a group called Animal Rights Now, and it's just aiming to send a message to the government, to the Bosnian government, to do something about it. And usually these governments respond to that kind of petition if it was signed by enough people, because they will feel the international community pressure on it. So that's something else you can do. Go ahead, the link, as we said before, will be in the description below. Go and find it after you have done with this video. Click it, sign it, and press the sign now button, and that's another good thing you done today. Let's get to the next story. It's about a 4-winged dinosaur fossil found, and that's actually, from my point of view, it's a very important discovery, because it proved that some of the old mythological drawings are not based on lies. They are imagination. They're based on facts. Because there is a big resemblance between that fossil they found and a lot of these drawings. And it's basically a bird-like creature which have 2 wings, and then they have the 2 hind legs. And the 2 hind legs have feathers on them, and they're structured as wings as well. And they explain that, saying that because the size of the creature, and the dynamics of its body, so it needed an extra pair of wing to help the creature slowing down and landing and and the rest of these functionalities. So anyway, next story is about the London Zoo, and the London Zoo is doing fundraising parties, and these fundraising parties are starting to prove that they could be a risk and threatening the animal welfare in the zoo, because recently one of these party people, I don't want to say anything else, they threw the beer at one of the tigers, and there was an incident before that when one of them wanted to have a fight with a penguin. So we will keep an eye on what's happening in that. The last story for today will be about a carriage driver. What's interesting about this, that we see this kind of incidents in developing countries. When there is a mistreatment for a horse or a donkey or something like that. But this is different this time. We can see this happening in USA, and the guy who done that is up for a trial, and animal right people are just not gonna leave him alone. They are arranging protests in front of his trial location and things like that. So at the end, I would say don't forget to go to that video description. You'll find the links for the 2 petitions. Do one more good thing today and sign these petitions. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to share, like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and see you next week.